For the last 50 or 60 years, feminism and promoters of feminism have pushed women into the forefront of almost every part of our society. They did it as a part of a quasi-affirmative action program, which seems kind of odd. But be that as it may, it has happened. As a result, women have been getting a leg up in every field possible. They've been getting scholarships that are dedicated just to women. They've been getting jobs that are set aside just for women, especially in the government. Not only the government even had a whole set of contracts, and each new government program had a provision in it that it had to be bid on by at least one of these minority contracts. And so more and more women found themselves on the board of directors or as a CEO of these government contractors just so that they could get an inside track on some of these set-asides. What has it done? This has caused women to get a sense of entitlement that is pervasive and continues on today. This sense of entitlement permeates our entire society, which leans heavily toward women. And in our society, women who can't find husbands are kind of falling into that path. Because it's that sense of entitlement they have, that taking people for granted, that not appreciating the things that they get, that really shuts them down. It makes every man just turn their backs on them. I don't care how hot you are, how rich you are. If you've got that sense of entitlement, ain't nobody want to be with you because you are a spoiled brat. And nobody wants to spend their life with a spoiled brat. So let's talk about how it happened. Recently, I was talking to my ex-wife, and she was lamenting the fact that we were divorced. And she was reminiscing about all the great things that we had done in our lives. You know, that we had this beautiful family, this beautiful house, this beautiful neighborhood, and all the trips that we took, and how it basically was just her dream life, and how she really misses it, and she wishes that we didn't get a divorce because she didn't realize just how wonderful she had it. And she turns to me and she says, "Why do you think things fell apart?" And I said, "Because I think that you didn't value it. You felt entitled to it. You felt like it was your right to have all that stuff. And you didn't give any thought to how that stuff was coming to be, how much dedication, discipline, commitment it took on my part to bring all that to you and to consistently deliver day in and day out for 20 plus years to make sure that you and the children were completely taken care of, regardless of what you were doing in your career path, which was spotty at best." And she argued with me. She said, "I don't think I was entitled. Now, I may have taken you for granted." I was like, "Ah." You see what I mean? Like they don't even know what it means. So, honey, taking everyone for granted and taking everything for granted is equivalent to being entitled. And then I think she finally got it. After watching, I don't know how many videos of young women and middle-aged women out there on TikTok and Instagram complaining that they can't find a man. And then at the same time, on other channels, you've got these middle-aged women and older who are complaining that they never should have left their man. It's almost like men are becoming this rare resource, like they can't find us anywhere. It's like, yeah, we're everywhere. You can't, it's hard to miss us. Anyway, after that conversation with my ex-wife, I started thinking, I don't think that most women realize how unattractive that level of entitlement it is. How it can take a woman who might be extremely attractive, let's say an 8, a 9, or even a 10, and if she's got that entitled attitude, well, that drops her down to like a 6 or a 5 or a 4. I mean, she becomes almost untouchable, unmarriable. You don't want to be around that person in any way, shape, or form because she thinks she deserves everything that you're bringing to the table. There's no appreciation involved. Well, if you turn it around and you find an average woman who's extremely grateful and shows a lot of appreciation for what you bring to the table, well, she can go from being a 5 or a 6 to being like an 8 or a 9 in your mind because you so enjoy her company. And it's all because of this simple thing called appreciation or entitlement. When you're expressing appreciation, you become so much more valuable to be around. It's like you're giving love constantly. And when you are entitled, it's like you're trying to take it. And that's what happened with my ex-wife. She was trying to get me to express love to her in ways that were customized to her. And of course, I had no idea what those things were. And when I couldn't figure that out, well, she felt hurt, like I wasn't doing what was necessary to make her feel loved. Meanwhile, I'm supporting this enormous house, all these cars, a nanny, all these children, I mean, all this stuff, these vacations, you name it. And she didn't see that as an expression of my love and commitment to her. Like she didn't recognize it for what it was. And in a way, that lack of recognition kind of turns into a type of disrespect, if you know what I mean. Because now she's giving me the sour face and not being, affectionate and no intimacy and stuff like that. And, she's got this constant resentment toward me all the time because I'm not doing something that I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing everything I think I can do to make her happy, and she just can't be happy no matter what. Well, fast forward, a long time, and she looks back on that now, and she regrets every minute of it. She regrets every minute. She can see exactly what she did, and why she did it. And it's a terrible, terrible thing because, in a way, for you women that have that level of entitlement, you don't realize it, but you're hurting yourself so much more than anyone else. You're causing yourself so much pain. You're creating a level of hell that only you can make. And it's unfortunate, but for us men who have lived with you entitled women and been through that, well, we walk away with a sense of relief. We have a new sense of appreciation for our own company and our privacy and how wonderful it is not to have some unhappy person around all the time. And then the likelihood that we would ever bring anyone into our existence again, into our presence again in that manner, it goes down to almost zero. I mean, there's no way I would ever remarry. I mean, there's just no way. So, I think you women are doing yourself a real disservice. You need to do some introspection here because all this empowerment, this go-girl stuff, it's getting twisted around in your little heads and it's turning into, you owe me stuff and I deserve stuff. And because I'm here, I am good enough. And because I'm good enough, you need to deliver to me. And that, I'm afraid, is a load of bullshit. And you're fooling yourself and you're going to cause yourself an awful lot of pain. Not to mention all the people that you're going to hurt along the way. I can understand to a certain extent why women feel entitled because our media, social media, movies, TV, everything, have done so much to promote the idea that women are superhuman in some way. Like they have levels of empathy that men can't even begin to understand. That they can be heroes and actually beat men up and they're super agents and spies and stuff like that. And it's just such bull. And I mean, it's cute entertainment, but I think you girls are taking it a little too seriously. You're actually buying into this concept that you are that. And as you build yourself up into that mythical female archetype, I think that you are identifying with some kind of a goddess or something. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. I've seen on some of these other social media channels where a bunch of women will sit around and half of them will be really overweight and another half are all tattooed and pierced. And the host is asking them, how would you rate yourself on a scale of 10? And none of these girls sitting there are 10s, not one of them. But every single one of them will declare themselves a 10. And they're doing this for positive self-image. They're trying to encourage themselves and encourage each other and stuff like that, which is fine. I mean, it's wonderful if you think you're a 10, but you can't go through life like that. I mean, you've got to have some realism in your head because when you approach men with that concept, that idea that you are so beautiful that you deserve to be treated in such a certain way or you deserve a man to bend over backwards to accommodate you, well, you're just setting yourself up, you know? I mean, I know there are still some feminist guys out there that'll do that for you, but those guys are becoming fewer and fewer and fewer, as you are seeing. Men are learning that they don't need to put up with that in their lives, that they would be better off alone than spending a big chunk of their life with an entitled, spoiled woman. You know what I mean? There's just no reason why they would want to do that. So you're gonna have to, like I said, do some introspection, do some meditation, go on a yoga retreat, and just think about yourself for a minute. You know, a little humility goes an awful long way. It really, really does. And when you come into a relationship with a sense of appreciation and commitment and respect and, I don't know, and you just see yourself as just lucky to be there, then men will treat you like a queen. When you have that level of humility, especially if you're a beautiful woman, you will be treated like a queen. You'll get everything that you ever wanted. But if you go into that entitled, you're gonna have a really tough time finding anyone who will take you home. Maybe they'll take you home for a night, but keeping you, I just don't think it's gonna happen. You know, every once in a while, I will see a woman in the comments accusing me of being misogynistic. And everyone's entitled to their opinion, you know, and I can't let that stuff get under my skin. But I find it very interesting that when women receive criticism, they take on this victim mentality and they turn it around on men and say, you are the perpetrator here, you're the persecutor, you're the misogynist, you're the one who is being unfair. You have nothing to complain about. I'm just a poor woman. I deserve to be defended. My honor is being attacked here, and you guys are all wrong. You couldn't possibly be right about the things that you're saying. And this attitude is pervasive throughout the entire gender for the most part. Now, I shouldn't say everyone. Obviously, there's some women that are very reflective and they're very thoughtful about their role in society and how they interact with men in particular. But a large percentage of women take on that victim mentality and they use it as a defense mechanism against any kind of criticism that comes their way. And quite frankly, it's a tired old routine and we're getting fed up with it. So why don't you just actually take some accountability for your behavior? And when you do act out in ways that are immature or are thoughtless, as you do frequently, take responsibility for it. You can still change. You can still be a better person. Just because you screwed up doesn't mean you can't be accountable. The wonderful thing about being a man is we fuck up all the time. We just fuck up all the time. And you know something? You just expect it. And so you get up and you do it again. And you just keep on going and going and going and going until you get it right. And you just keep doing it. You just keep making corrections and eventually you'll find your way to your goal. And I think that you women don't have that tenacity. You don't have that, drive. Now I know some do, so I'm not going to be total blanket on that, but a lot of you are just expecting things to come to you naturally because you are who you are. And yeah, it's just not happening anymore. As you get older, you start to recognize some of the universal truths that you've been given along the way. And a few of them are really handy here. First one is, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And once it's gone, it may be hard to retrieve. For women, especially young women, your youth is your greatest asset in attracting a mate. That opens a door for you. Being a young, attractive woman certainly opens the door for you. But after that, it boils down to you and your personality and what you actually bring to the table. Men can be bowled over with your good looks for a while, but that's gonna wear off because you're gonna age. And as you get older, if you wanna live a happy, fulfilling life, you're gonna have to understand the second truth about reciprocity. And that means what goes around comes around. You know, you reap what you sow. And I can't say with more conviction just how true that is. What you put out into the world is what you will experience. So if you go out and you are in a relationship with a guy and you have that level of entitlement and you are not appreciating what you have, it will leave. It'll be gone. And you can be self-righteous all you want, and you can say, well, I'll take them to the cleaners or whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you're still going to be a sad, lonely, miserable person. And I don't know what that's worth to you, you know? Because at the end of the day, this is your life. You've got to live it, and you don't get a second chance. So you better bring your best game. And being an entitled, spoiled brat is not going to get you where you want to go. I hope this video will find its way into the hands of some women who will appreciate it and understand where it's coming from. I don't want to be an asshole, and I hope you don't think I'm being an asshole. I am being critical, and I am telling you truths from the heart, things that I've observed, things I've experienced, and what I've heard from other men. And this whole feeling entitled thing that women seem to be experiencing on a widespread, like a pandemic, is the number one thing that will make you lonely for the rest of your life. So you're going to have to get past it. This whole entitlement game, like the Kardashians, and I don't know the Kardashians personally, and I've only seen their show maybe once or twice in my life, but they definitely come off as being some entitled women. And that vibe, that energy that they bring to the table is toxic. It's just toxic. And no man worth his salt wants to be around that. I don't care how hot she is. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please like and subscribe. And if you know someone who might benefit from it, please share it with them. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks very much. I'll see you next time. Stay healthy, and if you can, stay single.